Andrew, C1D Paintball. Okay, first of the video editing videos I'm making. So paintball editing videos. You can use this for a lot of different sports, by the way. Okay, I wanted to make this video 2 years ago. Although recently in this off season, as I record this, we're at the winter, it's February 2024. If you're watching this years in advance, I'm sure there's still relevance, but anyway, I've got asked a lot over the last few years, but like I was starting to say, especially in the last few months, the off season. When I say off season, a lot of paintball players, especially up here in Canada where I am, there is an off season. You can play indoors some places, but generally speaking, you know, most Canadian paintballers, they play outdoors in the summer. In the winter, they just sit and think about playing paintball. Now, the question I get asked is, how do I make videos so consistently? We're in our 5th consecutive year of having a video release every Monday, and that's only one video a week, which for some people isn't a lot, for some people is, whatever. But I'm just saying only because very often we'll have more than that. Although in particular, action videos. So I get asked that. I've been asked many times in the past, and very often, more than ever, this off season. And I start talking to people about it, usually little private messages and this, whether it be on whatever social media, whatever they find me at. There's one thing that seems to be a common thread, and this is this winter and before. When I get into these discussions, I find a lot of people don't organize their files correctly. Now hear me out. This may be the most important tip video I give as far as making paintball videos. Now first of all, there's 2 things you're going to need, because I'm going to show you how I organize my files. It is the most important part of paintball editing. So when I talk to people, have these discussions, I ask them how they do things. Now some people haven't started making videos yet. A lot of them have gotten their feet wet, so a whole big array on their levels. But the one thing I found in common with almost all of them is how they organize their files. I'm going to show you how I organize my files, and honestly, there'll be other videos about like equipment you use, little tips and all that, but I think this is the most important video you can have. And I mentioned seasons in paintball. A lot of people, when I talk to them, would say, well, you know, I play all summer, and in the winter I want to start up editing some videos. You know, I got a half hour here or there, or maybe 2 or 3 times during the season. They do that too. Like, I got an extra half hour. Let me edit a video. And the majority of the time, people are like, well, oh, okay, yeah, I got it on my camera still. I got to plug that into my computer and get the cables out, transfer that. And is it on a memory card? Where did I put it? And the next thing you know, by the time they found their memory card, their camera, they plugged it in, they transferred the file, that half hour of free time they had to edit videos, well, it's gone. And it's kind of a buzzkill, because ultimately, the next time you find half an hour, you may not have done it right, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to show you how I do things. And there are 2 things you need to do, or need to have, in order to do it the way I do. If you don't have these things, especially the one thing, I still want you to watch this, because I still want you to see how I do it, because it can apply to you either directly if you do have both programs, if you have just one program, or just helps your mindset to organize yourself. Some of you may already do something like this, and that's great. But like I said, the people that come out and ask me about, you know, how do I consistently make videos, this is what I learned after a few conversations to tell them. Finally, time I put it on a video. First thing you need is a computer so you can put files somewhere. Yes, there's guys like Killhit that make excellent videos off their phone, so they don't need a computer. They do that. That's great. But the way I organize it, and what's going to help you, is if you do any editing on your computer, this is going to help you. You're going to need to put files somewhere. You're also going to need, and this is the thing that if you don't have it, well, maybe you'll just upload raw videos or whatever. But really you should as a basic video editor, because you need a timeline. Timeline is where you drop the actual footage. I don't need where you can have 5 different cameras going, which by the way I've had in the past. I'm talking about a simple basic video editor where you can drop something in a timeline even if it's just the one camera. Okay, so you got a computer to store your stuff, you got an editor with a timeline, then we're good to go. If you don't have both those things, I still would like you to watch this, give me your opinion. Maybe it'll help you, your mindset about what you're gonna do. Now, for paintball, generally speaking, I know I'm going out. So usually it's every second Saturday, once the weather is good enough till the weather is not good enough. When we start the season, when we end the season, every second weekend, sometimes more. Usually I play on Saturdays. So what I do is, I know if I'm playing June 1st on a Saturday, I will, the night before, go into my computer, and I have an area where I'm going to keep all my files. So now I know I'm playing June 1st, I'll go in and simply create an empty file called June 1st. That's it. The next day I will play. Let's say I play 5-6 hours, record, I don't know, 8 to 12 games. Now, when I get home, there's usually stuff to do. My wife has stuff for me to do. I feel guilty otherwise, you know, like I blew my Saturday, whatever, I gotta do some stuff. But you need to do this next step. I always do it when I get home or before I go to sleep that night from a day of paintball. Wait till the end and you'll see how it all fits together. So I go in that file, that empty folder rather, folder file. I go in that folder, it's June the 1st, and I plug my camera in, or put the memory card, whatever I choose to do. I find it easier with the camera directly in, but whatever's easier for you. Plug it in my computer, I dump all the files in there. Boom. Now, why do I do this? Now there's a part 2 to it too, but why do I dump it in this file? I don't actually have to edit the files now. I can edit it during the off season, but when I go in the off season or whenever I have time, I'll be able to say, okay, there's June 1st, June 15th. I'll have all the times I went out. I'll have 12, 16 files, whatever it is. And I know inside those files are the games that I played that day. Now, I haven't said the second step yet, which is using the video editor. We're gonna do that the same night you get there. So the same day you get there. So I played June the 1st, I've dropped my files in, and what I'm gonna do, and that doesn't take very long, it depends how fast your computer can transfer it over. Let's say 5 minutes. Now, the next step, I take my video editor and I take the files that I have from that day of paintball that I've dropped into a folder, and I put it on my timeline. Now, let's say I said 8 to 12 games in a day. Let's say I played 10 games, nice round number in that day. What I'm gonna do doesn't really take that long. It might take 20 minutes. I can do it in 10 minutes because I'm used to it. You just go on that timeline, and usually the first thing you've dropped is the first game. I'm gonna chop them up into individual games. This file is this. So on my timeline, my big timeline, I'm gonna chop it into the individual games. Now I'm gonna save this master file in the folder of June 1st as a master timeline, okay? Now, once I've got my 10 games segregated, and again, I'm not going through every minute of the game. Generally, if you just speed through it, use the timeline, you can say, okay, this game starts here, this one stops, chop it, go what's left, go open, chop it, do it like that. Now, I take the individual games. So I copy this from my timeline. I make sure I save my work, by the way, on the master timeline. I take this one, I copy it, I open a new timeline, I paste it. This is the first game, so I'm gonna save it as June 1st, game 1, save. I go back in the master file and I save all 10 games. So my folder, when I'm done chopping them into the individual games, will look something like this. Cool? Now, that's just a quick run through on it. Usually, like I said, I can do it in 10, 20 minutes where I chop everything out. I'm not going to talk to the fact that I have usually 3 or 4 cameras, which when I go out, but we're going to talk about a one camera setup here. Now, if I take a little bit more time, let's say 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes even less, when I do this chopping up part, you know, just great, look, I played paintball day, I got home, I did some laundry, cooked dinner. Now, it's 9 o'clock, I'm having my coffee. My C1D cup, by the way. I'm having my coffee. Extra delicious. And I'm gonna cut these files up. I already transferred them, and I'm getting ready to cut these up because I don't want to do it the day after I play paintball. You don't want to forget it. So I'm cutting them up, but I have a little more time. I haven't got that 10 to 20 minute rush. If I have to, I have to, but I have a little bit of time. I go through it a little more, and I'd be able to do stuff like name my files a little something more descriptive. June 1st, Game 1, TDM Village. I've told myself that it's team deathmatch on Village. If something big happens, I might put like ace or draw, because there's not too many ties. Why do I do this? If I see something that happens in it, like something funny happens, like Connor Shield, something awesome happened that day. So I'm gonna name all these. So when I go back to edit them, it's gonna be, when I have my half hour, I can go and I can have, like I said, 12, 16. I'm gonna show you a screenshot. This is my actual file that I'm using right now at this date. So in each of those files are at least one game I haven't made into a final video. When I am done, by the way, and everything on a particular day I've made a video for, I'll move the folder somewhere else. Because when I go into this folder, I know that I have outstanding videos yet to produce. But let's say I've played 4 times and I haven't edited any videos yet. And it's like, man, I got a couple hours. It's Saturday, but it's pouring rain. I'm not playing paintball. I'm going to edit some videos. I can go in there and start opening the files and say, oh yeah, June 1st? Oh yeah, the game where Connor got an ace, because I wrote it down there. I'm going to edit that one first. I've given myself the tools to save a little time and organize myself. You may say, well, Andrew, I've already spent time transferring it that day. I've already spent time going through the timeline a bit. I'll just do it in the fall or in the winter. No. In the winter, you can have 100, 200 gigs full of files. And if you haven't organized any of them at all, it's going to take you hours and hours to find things, or you're not going to necessarily find what you want to find. Because face it, when you want to make a video, you just don't want to grab a random game. You tend to want to grab, hey, if you have 40 files you haven't made, you look and you say, oh, these 5 are awesome. I have to make these first. You've made it easier because you've organized your files. Look, you can put game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can do that and just trip through them later. Or you can do a little more detailed, like I put, just writing what's team deathmatch on this or whatever. Or you can put words on some of them saying that, explaining what happened in the game to make it easier for you. By doing these things, by having that folder ready before, so when you get home you just drop it, and that night you kind of just spend a little bit of time chopping them up, you can start making videos, squirreling them away till you're off season. If you have half an hour here and there throughout the year, you don't have to worry about that whole scenario that I explained to you about having to find everything and it's still in the memory card. I've got 8 memory cards here because I went to Mexico all inclusive and I want to make a video, but not snorkeling. I want a paintball video. By doing these things, and they really are simple, you're making it easier when you have the time to edit videos. Again, you may say, well, right now, the way I'm doing it is I don't transfer them at all. I just wait till I have that free time in the fall. Honestly, you're going to forget things. You're going to forget things. Some nights I come home from playing paintball and I'll say, man, that 3rd or 4th game we played, that capture the flag, man, that's going to be the one. I want to edit that right away. So I'll go in there and I'll chop it up, and it wasn't game 3, it was game 4. Okay, yeah, game 4. I'm not just going to grab that footage. I'm going to, and just start editing right away. I am going to chop everything up first, save that, then I can grab that one because I've already created a file for it and start on it. I don't say just grab it and go, because maybe I'll forget. You do it the same day. It's almost a part of your process. You go to you get your equipment ready, you go to the field, you come home, you clean your stuff, you at least bring it out. Put your paintball files for the videos somewhere, make it a part of your routine, so this way you never forget, you never have something lost or buried, because you've organized it well. And honestly, we're going to go into more details on video editing, more hands-on stuff like I mentioned before, cameras, mounts, stuff like that for your camera, other tips. Organizing your files is the key to do this. By doing what I've shown you with the basic files and that, like I said, when I said earlier, when I've actually created all the files, when I've created, I've taken all the games and I've created videos for them, I'll move that folder somewhere else because I might want to go revisit it. But this way, when I have time to edit a paintball video, I'll go in and I'll see, okay, these are the months where I have some. Then I can go in there and see which ones are available. And yeah, it sounds simple. Some of you may dismiss it. If you're having a problem organizing your files, I recommend it. Even if you have a process you think's working well, I would suggest you try this. That's all I got to say about this one. There's other videos to make about editing paintball videos. Hope you enjoyed this. I want comments and what you thought about it, maybe what you do. Look, as long as it works for you, I'm saying this because I think it'll save you time. It'll most importantly keep the people that say, but when I go in December and start editing for the thing, it's too daunting. It can be daunting when you've got so many files. Like some people let their video run too, so every 45 minutes they change the camera, the battery in the camera. So it's like one big huge file you got to chop up. Some people turn it on and off each time, so it makes that timeline thing easier in that. How you do things may work for you. And even if it works well, maybe something I've presented here saves you even a little bit more time here and there. So, I don't want the background to go away. It's a nice background. Let's get the background. I'm the only one that sees this beautiful C1D background. That's it for this one. There'll be more. Like I said, more hands-on stuff and that, other information. But honestly, it's got to start at square one. Yeah, you need to get a camera before you record that, and there'll be a video for that. But be prepared. Have room in your computer. Get familiar with a timeline if you have a video editor. And even if you don't have a video editor and you just do straight raw stuff and all that, the organizing will help. Hopefully help you. Thanks all for watching. There'll be more. Remember, at the end of the day, it's just a game. Making videos of paintball is just a hobby. If you get monetized and make money on it, good for you. I'm probably never going to get that. I don't want it because I don't want it to be a burden. If it happens to fall in place where somebody's going to give me money, hey, that's great, but I do it for fun. I want people to have fun, explore, be creative, help grow it. Look, it takes a long time to make videos. When I'm done a video, I don't watch it for months until months later, because all I think of is like little imperfections, how much time I spent on it. I do enjoy it, but I want to go on the next one of that. More importantly, I want you to make paintball videos, so when I upload mine, I'm going to watch other people as well, and I'm going to have a good time. It doesn't matter if you do super duper edits or whether it's basic stuff. Just make something you like, make something that's not a burden. Hopefully this saves you some time to make those paintball videos. Thanks a lot. Till the next one, be kind to each other. Limited edition left-handed C1D mug, coffee mug, swag. Limited edition left-handed, because I'm left-handed. So limited, it's mine, you can't have it.